This week on Pitt Beyond the Script.
It's game 6, and our guys will be mentally and physically ready to go.
Patrick Jones is a guy that's going to get picked high in the NFL draft.
And he's going to take a sack.
For me, it's something that's really important, especially for our athletes to come together. I just think it's so good to get out there and share the awareness.
In my 4 years, this has been the best team since I've been here.
All this and more on this edition of Pitt Beyond the Script.
It starts as a game, a gathering of friends. And slowly, as some begin to sit back, others stand out. The joy of playing turns to passion. And as the skills develop, so do the minds. And they begin to seek challenges, peers, and mentors to further their abilities and opportunities. The love and passion becomes a thirst for people in a place
we're going to show everybody else in the country who we are.
That will embrace and push a hunger for excellence.
Clinch the ACC.
And to be in and among champions. These are the dreamers, scholars, leaders. These are the guides, teachers, mentors. And this is the opportunity, the challenge, the place. This is Pitt Beyond the Script.
Hello and welcome to Pitt Beyond the Script. Alongside head coach Pat Narduzzi, I'm Casey Garrow, Pitt Studios. Coach, 3-2 on the season, another close game this weekend. What was the message to the team following that game?
You know, we got to be persistent. I mean, there's adversity that's going to come up every week, and the rest of the week it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. We've got to somehow find a way to win the fourth quarter and finish the game off against good football teams. There's not a bad team on our schedule. Boston College is a good football team. It kind of tells you, you kind of go, hey, what's North Carolina like? I mean, they almost beat North Carolina. I mean, they're a good football team, and I don't think people give Coach Hafley and the Eagles as much credit as they probably deserve.
Coach, I can't talk about Kenny Pickett enough. Big passing plays, was able to use his feet once again. He came off the field limping, another scary moment, but he gets right back on that field quickly after. He's a tough quarterback.
He really is. I mean, Kenny's, you wish you had like 110 of them. That guy gets banged up and it doesn't matter. He continues to fight, and we're happy we have him.
Jake Cradle wasn't able to go, but you made some changes on the line. Jimmy Morrissey at right guard. You had Owen Drexel at start for center. How did the modified offensive line perform, in your opinion?
Okay. I mean, with what it was and Jake being out, that we had to make a change, and Jimmy got his first start at guard. I think maybe his first rep as a guard ever, at least at the college level.
Yeah, he hasn't played since freshman year of high school, he said. Few reps.
So it's been a long time, but he felt confident and comfortable doing that with limited reps because it happened late in the week. So we had to make some quick changes, and Coach Dave Borbley thought that was the best move to put Owen in there. He felt comfortable, and Owen had a solid game for his first start. You can see when Jimmy graduates that Owen will be the guy.
Talking a little bit about special teams, a 58-yard field goal for Alex Kessman. I know it was a mixed performance, but he's the reason you guys were able to get into overtime. So what is the message to that special teams unit this week and moving to Miami?
Alex Kessman, good hold, good snap, puts his foot into it, has some leg, and it's good!
Oh my goodness!
Well, I don't know if it's the message to the special teams unit or the message to the offense. Let's try to get more manageable field goals, or when we get down inside the 30-yard line, let's score touchdowns and take it off his. Because if you score more touchdowns down there, you're not in that, that 58-yard range that we ended up putting ourselves in at the end of that game.
A couple weeks ago, you challenged your defensive ends to get some strip sacks. I know there was 2 calls that didn't go your way, but Rashad Weaver comes up with one. And like you mentioned, you did challenge them and he came up with that. Just talk about his performance and the growth.
I mean, both Rashad and Patrick Jones had, outstanding games. They both played well enough to win that football game. I don't know how many sacks BC gave up in the year. I don't count those stats, but, tallying 5 of them against him, and he was an elusive guy, Phil Jakovic, that is. Those were some really good sacks. And then the strip turnover that, Rashad had, we wanted him. We didn't really work on the grab it out of his hand and take it. If we did, I would have worked on taking it and then scoring with it. But it was a heck of a play by him. He was close enough to do it, and he's going after the ball as opposed to the guy with, just trying to get a normal sack.
Zay Flowers had a great day for them, 3 touchdowns. You said Saturday post-game, you guys got beat physically, wasn't blown coverages. After watching the film, you felt the same way?
Yeah, no doubt about it. It wasn't a busted coverage. We've had a couple of those earlier in the year, which were big passes. This is one of those just, it's a fundamental thing. And we've just got to, make sure that our guys are, more fundamentally sound for 60 minutes and maybe have a rotation at the corner spot, I think, would help those guys get a little freshness too.
A little bit of a break instead of going back to back. Coach, first road trip though, not an easy thing to do, especially in this climate. Logistically, how did things go? Does it get more comfortable or does it get harder going back on the road?
No, I think it gets easier. I think once, your kids and your staff and your operations are all, comfortable with, hey, this is what we need. There were some adjustments we made during the trip that will help us when we go down to Miami this weekend. But it was, it was good so far. And again, you never know how good it is until, you get to that next game. Because the biggest thing is you hope nobody got sick on the road, and that's when you find out you're successful. If no one comes in this week with testing on Sunday and Wednesday, and then finally on a Friday. So that's the real test, is how we did that way.
All right, well, thank you, Coach. First road test. We're going to look ahead at Miami, another tough road test ahead. Stick around for more on Pitt Beyond the Script.
Pickett under center. BC shows pressure on the edge. They bring it, but Pitt will score. Out to the outside, and Taysir Mack.
I registered to vote because it is my right in the United States to have my voice be heard.
I registered to vote because it's a starting point for making a difference within my community and on a larger scale.
I registered to vote because I feel like I have an obligation, due to all the pain and struggle that my ancestors went through, just to be able to have the right to vote in this country.
I registered to vote after educating myself on the importance of voting and made sure to get involved immediately.
I registered to vote because every vote counts, and it's important that my team is active in our local government.
My teammates and I are all registered to vote. The women before us have fought hard for this right, and we understand the importance of voting today.
I vote because it's important to me, it's important to my family, and as an American citizen, I feel I have the opportunity that many others around the world don't have.
Voting matters to me because so many people have fought for this right, and as a result, we should all vote to have an impact in our government and our everyday lives.
Voting matters to me because I'm very passionate about using my platform to encourage my friends and family to get involved and to spread awareness about the social justice issues in our country that are more prevalent now than ever.
Voting isn't just important in this day and age, but it is very necessary, and I believe that it is your obligation to get out to the voter booths and choose the right candidate for this upcoming election.
When we choose to vote, we are saying that this is the person we want to represent us. And as Americans, we have the privilege to vote, which gives us the opportunity to choose somebody who is going to represent everybody.
I believe that voting is important. I believe that leadership is important. I believe that my vote can help put somebody in charge who empowers the voices of many who have been silenced for way too long.
I registered to vote. Did you?
Did you?
Did you?
Did you?
See if he can make a big play here. Dracovic under pressure, and he loses the football.
Took the
What
ball
an
away.
unbelievable play. What a play by Weaver. That is an unbelievable play to make the sack and steal the football away and get it back to his offense.
Welcome back to Pitt Beyond the Script alongside Pat Bostic. I'm Rob King of AT&T Sportsnet. We heard Coach talking earlier with Casey Garrow about the loss, obviously heartbreaking loss for the Panthers. Some positives we want to look at. Servassier Dennis makes his first start at linebacker.
He was terrific, Rob. I mean, he's replacing Cam Wright, who played awesome all year long, and you're worried about replacing a veteran guy. Cam Wright's a 2-year starter, and Servassier Dennis just stepped in there, and there was no drop-off whatsoever. He struck people beyond the line of scrimmage, 4.5 TFLs, a sack and a half. We've grown accustomed to seeing him on third down, kind of the ringleader of that third down package, directing traffic up front. I think he proved in this game he can play all 3 positions and on all 4 downs.
Meanwhile, Patrick Jones, 3 sacks in this game.
Yeah, he's big time. I mean, those 2 ends are big time guys. They had 6 sacks on Phil Dracovic, affected him all day long. Makes his performance look even better in my opinion. But Patrick Jones is a guy that's going to get picked high in the NFL draft. It's his 2nd game with 3 sacks this season. He's the dynamic force. He pushes guys back into the quarterback. It's amazing to see how far he's come in 3 years. He was a guy that couldn't avoid a penalty in his first season in 2018, 2017 too. And this year he had just turned into a monster coming off of a great 2019.
Last week we talked about DJ Turner as a wide receiver filling in for Addison, who had another strong game as far as catching. Had a couple drops in the game, but I want to talk about DJ Turner as a return guy because he made a couple of really nice returns in this game.
Yeah, really, it's the second consecutive week he's had a nice return. I mean, he set Pitt up in great field position. He's been a dependable receiver. What's impressed me most is the guy's only been here like 5 weeks, and he's continued to progress as a member of the offense. And then you contribute on special teams. There's a mental part of this, right, to being on the same page, to understanding the schemes and philosophies, and then going out there and executing. He's been dependable, and he'll continue to be a big part of this offense and also on special teams.
And we talk about Turner on offense and Addison, who we just mentioned, the freshman who's been sensational, obviously. Mack, Shockey Louis, all the wide receivers. There should be enough weapons here because they're going to really be tested about Miami, who we're going to talk about in a moment. But there should be enough weapons here on the outside for the Panthers to be able to make some.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Kenny Pickett's got a bevy of talent out there. And you look at how young they are, too, in a lot of spots. I mean, Taysier Mack's a veteran. He's proven. Turner's a veteran. But Addison, obviously Shockey, Jacques Louis, Jerry Wayne, Jalen Barden's a freshman that can do a lot, that has great speed. These guys are only going to continue to get better, really playing their first significant snaps as Panthers. But I like what they have. They're going to get tested for the second straight week, though, you mentioned against Miami with press man coverage. Boston College, I thought, did a great job. That's Jeff Hapley's MO. Get in your face, press you. And there were a lot of contested throws and contested catches opportunities that the Panthers, they made a couple and they missed a couple that could have been a difference in the game.
Well, Kenny Pickett did have some time to throw in this game, which was nice because the Panthers had to reshuffle the offensive line. Morrissey, you had moving all ACC guy from center out of position to guard. What did you think of the way that all transpired for the Panthers?
I thought Owen Drexel did a great job, Rob. I thought he did a good job at center in his first career start. There were no snap problems. There were no false start problems that were on the center when you get a little bit of delayed snap on the cadence. And Jimmy Morrissey was plug and play at right guard. I mean, you saw him directing traffic, helping Drexel out, and I can imagine for a center making his first career start, it's nice to have the guy you played behind next to you, as opposed to on the sideline or somewhere else. So Jimmy was an asset to Owen, and I thought Owen acquitted himself nicely in his first real game.
Interesting Miami team. We know they've got talent. We know they're a program that appears to be on the rise. However, they went into Clemson and really got knocked on their wallet. I mean, they got smacked in this game. They did block 3 field goals, return 1 for a touchdown. But how is this Miami team going to react, do you think, mentally? You're going against the champs. You're going against the top team in the ACC. You fall flat. Does that make them angry this week, or does it make them maybe a little bit of a letdown facing the Panthers?
I think they're an angry football team. I think they're different this year than they have been in the past because they have De'Aaron King, their quarterback. I mean, this guy makes plays all over the place. He scampered for a few big first downs and big gains against Clemson. He could throw it better than I thought. He really showed that against Louisville. I thought he tore them apart. It's interesting, though. I'm not sure they're the defensive juggernaut they were in the past. They've given up some yards this season. Louisville put 511 on them, rushing the football and throwing the football. So they depend on that offense, and Rhett Lashley, their new offensive coordinator, they run a lot of plays. I mean, they are at the line of scrimmage. 15 seconds or less, that ball's getting snapped. So I think Manny Diaz and this team, they're going from week to week not feeling like they have to hold a team to 14 points to win. They feel like they have a quarterback in De'Aaron King and some talent around him. Brevin Jordan at tight end. Obviously, at receiver, they've got a bunch of talent out there between Higgins and Harley and that group. They feel like they can score points. And that's what's made this team, I think, take a step this year. They went out, they addressed their offensive deficiencies, and it's shown on tape less one game.
And big stress for the defense. Look, we saw what Phil Jurkovec could do with his legs, ran for a couple of crucial big plays and first down for Boston College this week. And De'Aaron King is a guy who hadn't turned the ball over until he faced Clemson. So he takes care of the ball, but he can throw the ball and beat you with his legs.
He can. I mean, he's not 6'5" like Phil Jurkovec. So this is one of those games where I thought a key to the game against Boston College was keep Jurkovec in the pocket, make him throw from the pocket under duress to beat you. This game might be different. It might be keep De'Aaron King in the pocket, don't let him out of there, and get your hands up and knock some balls down. That was one of the things you go back to the 2017 win against Miami. I thought they did a great job in that game, getting their hands up to the line of scrimmage, deflecting passes, turning those into turnovers. So critical to this game, number one, first priority, keep number one quarterback De'Aaron King in the pocket. Do not let him beat you with his feet. Make him beat you with his arm.
Well, it looks like Clemson's still the team to beat in the ACC, and a crucial game here for the Panthers coming up against Miami. Pat, thanks very much. Look forward to your call.
Thanks, Rob.
All right, stick around. We're going to profile senior Rashad Weaver when we resume on Pitt Beyond the Script.
Their money don't make no money. Come on.
These cats up front for Pittsburgh, the real deal. Oh, real. Whoa.
Our D-line's full of studs, and I think everybody knows that, and we play off of each other and we complement each other. You know, having an All-American caliber DN on the other side with Pat, I know the other side's protected, and he'll force sacks to me, and I'll force sacks to him.
Rashad Weaver in for the sack.
Welcome back, Mr. Weaver.
Klovic is flushed. He's got nowhere to go, and he's brought down. Jones again. What a huge game Patrick Jones II is having.
Get it, baby. Syracuse time. First game back in 628 days. We're making a statement.
Getting back on the field after missing that many days, it just felt like everything I waited for and worked for and just finally paid off. And, you know, even running through the tunnel without the fans, it still felt like running through Hines and being on game day. And it was just a blessing to make it there and know that my hard work paid off, and had a pretty good game and came out the game safe with the win.
We get it. We back, baby. It's a mission every week. Good to know. Time it up. Right.
So the injury, it was August 8th, I believe. I just was on a block. I knew it was a boot play, tried to get outside of a tight end block and kind of landed weird. And it just felt like somebody honestly shot me in the leg. It was one of the worst pains I ever felt. We went and got MRI, and about an hour later they told me. And at that moment, I was lost for about 2 days. But after that, you know, I was good. I'm a pretty strong-minded guy. I was like, everything happens for a reason, and I was excited to sack rehab. Every day I came to work, and that's why I'm back 150% with no issues.
Welcome back, Rashad Weaver. I don't understand how you don't block this guy. He is unblocked off the end of line of scrimmage.
Get it. We back, baby.
Our D-line is special, and I think people talk about it because we're solid front to back, and that starts with the players being willing to work and to have a great coach like Coach Partridge. You know, Coach Partridge knows the in and out of a D-line like nobody else, and then we have young guys and old guys that come in and want to learn from him because we know he'll make us great.
Okay, guys are doing a great job by collapsing the pocket down, so continue to do that.
And I'm so grateful that Coach Narduzzi hired him and that he's here, because without him, I honestly don't think I would be this far or anywhere close to where I am now, and I think I'd be wasting a lot of talent. Yeah, seeing the Steelers definitely does inspire me. You know, I definitely do take it for granted sometimes. I never take it for granted in the morning when I'm walking through the parking lot and I see all the cars and stuff. That makes me think about it every morning, to know I want to have a car like that or some kind of cars like that. I do definitely love how you can come out here and watch practice. You just have to be appreciative of it, and you should take full advantage of it. So I might start doing that a little bit more. They're even practicing out here right now, which is kind of crazy. I can go sit out here for the next 2 hours and just watch them practice and enjoy it all and soak up knowledge and see how it is at the next level, so I know once I get there what to expect.
BC's offense is in prime scoring position.
Klovic under pressure, and he loses the football.
Took the ball
what an
away.
Unbelievable play. That is an unbelievable play to make the sack and steal the football away and get it back to his offense.
I'm Rashad Weaver, and you're watching Pitt Beyond the Script.
Alexander Dexter along the flanks for Pittsburgh, providing a lot of speed, a lot of opportunity to serve balls into the 18.
The right side crosses it in, and there's Dexter for the goal. Beautiful ball sent to Dexter in the middle.
Pitt getting it into the box. Jackson trying to get in there, crosses it over to Dexter, who scores. Alexander Dexter puts the Panthers on the board here.
I wanted to come to a school where I know there was going to be a good competition base. And being in the ACC, coming into Pitt, they weren't one of the top programs in the ACC, but there were some promising players coming in and I wanted to be a part of the change. That's why I came to Pitt.
And here comes Dexter again up top. It's a 2-on-1 for Pittsburgh. Dexter fires and scores again.
There's a lot of new players this year, but we're really working hard to get to know each other as much as possible. In my 4 years, this has been the best team since I've been here. And it's exciting when you see players come in and they make a big impact on the team. We're like a brotherhood. I think that's the biggest part. We're not a team as much as we're more of like a brotherhood right now. We just want to have fun, honestly, for the celebration. It's the best part, is when the team works together, build out from the back, gets to the midfield. When we get that goal, it's like poetry in motion for us. It's like all that work that we put in throughout the week to get those goals. And to not concede, it's the best part. That's what we work for all week.
Dexter on the far side, who races for it, beats Townsend Mayer to the ball, crosses it in, and that finds the back of the net.
Working with Jay, it's like, working with your dad, because he truly wants what's best for you in that aspect. And yeah, he's going to push you to be the best person on and off the field you can be.
Look at this. The Panthers are just having so much fun. This is what you want to see.
L to Pitt means that when I leave here, I'm going to be grateful because, yeah, Obviously, they're doing so much for me, so after I leave Pitt, I'm going to keep hailing. My name is Alexander Dexter. I'm a forward on Pitt Men's Soccer, and you're watching Pitt Beyond the Script.
Hey Panther fans, you showed us what it means to hail from home. Keep sending us your photos each week for a chance to be in next week's show.
We gotta be smart. We have to have poise. One, two, three.
So today was like a really fun event. We did knockout for breast cancer, and it's really important to do that because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it hits really close to home with our coaches and our team.
Get in 6 rows of 10. That's 6 rows of 10.
Right? We're gonna get everything done. We're gonna get about 720 punches per person.
Today we threw 42,260 punches, and that represents the amount of people affected by breast cancer. And this is an event that we do with swimming and diving every year. What we want it to represent is just being present and understanding and being empathetic to, what's happening.
It has to sound like this. Hey, ha, ha. Right?
I'm sure numerous kids have grown up knowing someone that has succumbed to cancer, and whether it be breast or any form of that, we just want to bring recognition to something that needs recognition brought to it. And to see the kids every year we're able to do this is awesome. They get to learn about it and understand it a little bit more, and hopefully they will take a personal account of themselves in terms of what this is about.
So I want to say thank you. Some of you know, some of you don't. This is something that's very dear to my heart. I have the gene for breast and ovarian cancer, so I have undergone surgery, so luckily it isn't as much of a risk for me anymore, but it is something that I want everyone to understand. Like, breast cancer isn't something that just happens to older people. So for ladies, make sure you check yourself. But also, I'm just so proud of you guys coming together and doing it in such a positive way. So you're an inspiration to us, and thank you.
I just think it's so good to get out there and share the awareness. But also in these times, obviously with the pandemic, they haven't really been together as a team. And so for them to come back together with so much positivity for such an important event was really inspiring and heartwarming for me to really kind of throw their punches into it and get excited about it.
We actually did this my freshman and sophomore year. I'm now a senior. We were unfortunately unable to do it last year because of COVID, but it was awesome to get this opportunity to be able to come out and even do it within the masks, which made it a little bit difficult, but it was worth it in the end.
And I think my heart rate's still up, but it's a lot of fun. But again, at the end of the day, we just want to bring recognition to something that needs recognition brought to it. And with 42,000 people every year dying of breast cancer, I mean, this is something that needs to be brought to the forefront. And we want to do our part, and I think we do that with the team we have. And I'm just proud of the kids, and obviously keeping Katie and Mark in our thoughts all the time while we're doing it, and anyone else that knows someone affected by this, just to have that in the back of their mind and reflect on it, and again, understand why we're doing what we're doing.
The team is very much an extension of my family. We spend so much time, so many hours of our days and weeks with them. So to see them come out here and to support me and my family and Katie, it really means a lot to us. It really kind of drives home that they are part of our family and that we care deeply about one another.
All right, have a look on the ground.
Hey, let's get up here. Kovic. Pressure comes from Jones. Flushed out. Still has the football. and he's going to take a sack.
Hello and welcome back to Pitt Beyond the Script. Coach, Miami, a tough road game, a top 25 opponent for you guys. They average about 400 yards in passing and running game, 200 of those in the run game though. How do you guys match up with them defensively? You're the #1 ranked run defense in the ACC, so a good matchup.
Yeah, it's a great matchup, obviously on that side of the ball. Obviously very talented. It's going to be a tempo, so it'll be something really we haven't seen for a while. Syracuse probably the fastest tempo we had this year, so that'll be the challenge this week in practice, is to get the speed, which is always hard because you have our rocks, as we call them, our scout team players, trying to emulate the speed that those people down in Miami deal with every single day. That's what they do, so it comes natural for us. So we've got to give our kids a good look. We got to do a great job coaching for the tempo, and then obviously we got to be able to stop the plays that they have coming off that tempo.
You mentioned tempo, transfer quarterback De'Aaron King, another challenge for you guys. Talk about what he can do and what you guys have to face on Saturday.
Well, obviously he's got a strong arm. I mean, they're gonna run a lot of RPOs where he's has a read where he can either hand it off to the guy or throw slants, out routes, whatever they may be, bubbles, some of the quick game off of that. So, we're gonna be very disciplined. It'll be playing in space for the majority of the game, as far as it's gonna be a lot of one-on-one tackles in space for our secondary. So that's gonna be a major focus for our guys this week. But King is an athletic guy that can throw it. He can hurt you with his feet. He had a 70-yarder against Clemson, and he ran by their defense. And we know from watching all the Houston tape back in the summer, because we at least did prepare for that team in the summer. So we've got a little knowledge of what he's done in the past, and we know what Coach Lashley is doing this year with him at Miami.
Looking at the other side of the ball, this is a team that's fast and physical, and they generate a lot of turnovers. How will you look to move the ball?
Well, obviously, we're going to have a balanced attack against them. We've got to be able to establish a run game, as always. And really, the last 2 weeks, we've outgained our opponent, which, with the way our defense is playing, sometimes that's not real hard. But we've got to be able to run the football, and they're athletic, from the back end all the way up to the front. So it'll be the biggest challenge we face, in this season so far. I don't think we've scored a touchdown in the last few years. We've kicked a lot of field goals, and we must score touchdowns.
One unit they really excel in is special teams. They did great against Clemson last week, 3 blocked kicks. Is that something you look at more this week or are more aware of when you go into Saturday?
Well, you never get put to sleep on someone who maybe hasn't had much success in their special teams, but every week we game plan it the same, and we'll focus on making sure the protection is there for our punter. We can't give any blocks. If you didn't see any blocks, maybe there wasn't any blocks going into that game, and then they put them to sleep a little bit. But we're obviously going to be very conscious of every one of our special teams are critical.
Is this a game you circle on the calendar because it's somebody you faced a lot in your coaching career, so it's a little more familiar than some of the other teams you just faced, like an NC State or a Boston College? It's somebody you see year in and year out.
It is, but it's no different than any other one, Casey. I mean, obviously we had more preparation. Back at when we were stuck at home during this pandemic, we worked on Miami back then. We did not do that with North Carolina State or Boston College, so we have pretty good knowledge. We had a game plan going into the summer. And so we've known them, but it's, I don't know if I'd say I have it circled on my calendar. They're all circled one at a time, from the first one to the 11th one.
Week 6, are you guys tired? How's the team handling mentally? This is a tough time for everyone.
It's a game of football. I mean, maybe you guys in the booth are watching and taking pictures, get exhausted, but this is what we do. This is their job. They enjoy playing the game. We enjoy coaching the game. So it's game 6, and our guys will be mentally and physically ready to go.
All right, well, thank you, Coach. Best of luck on Saturday at
Thanks,
Miami.
Casey.
Thank you. And thank you for watching this edition of Pitt Beyond the Script.
Trying to get to Izzy. They do. 10-5. The running back from Brooklyn scores.